So how did you do on Reclamation Day, reclaiming our red, white, and blue, and our symbol, our flag? Pretty good? Yeah, I know. Some of the colors dropping out. I gotta refresh it. Just a real quickie, because I know I've done quite a few today. I'm just uploading a bunch of them, and I will get this up right away and not do a schedule. I'm doing a little bit of rearranging since, let's put it this way. I got my check from working the elections last month, and I want to get and a lot of the stuff like a little ring light in case I don't want all that yellowy look like this, but I am putting lights in better places. So the ring light has a clamp on one, and it also is a little a short tripod, and I liked that because the tripod I can use here with the to film like I do, so I don't get all slick. Just if I want to show you a video thing, I just film it and talk talk with you without seeing me. Y'all don't gotta see me all the time. And but the other tripod, it's hard. That's why it's shaky sometimes, because my tripod is too high. Like I said, I can't raise or lower the monitor, so and the chair only goes up so high, and the desk is I can't change that. So if I get a smaller tripod, it'll be perfect to film. So I do want to do that. That's coming Monday. Now I've always, that right there, it was over there. I don't need such a bright light because I do have that light with the lamp with the ivy. It does, pretty bright. So I thought over there. Now, what am I gonna? I do want to put a smaller light there. What I'm gonna get is a real lava light lamp, like with the lava, and those are plug-in. Now, the other thing I used to have was a plasma, but it was a plasma heart in Arizona. One of the things I lost along the way. I lost 90% of my stuff, 90, everything basically, except what could fit in a van. So stuff like that, when you're trying to save video and photo albums and medals and trophies from your kid. I mean, you're not thinking about stuff like those memory things. So, but I've always liked it. Those plasma bowls where they have that electricity, but if you touch it, it follows you. I found one that is a USB, and it's got a base that color changes, and it's not super big. It's only like 5 inches tall or something. I want to put it next to, that is not a lava lamp. It's just a glitter lamp. But it's so bright that you can't see it. It's just an amber colored one. It used to be my niece's, but it was the closest I could get to a lava lamp. But I do want to get that plasma thing and put it on there, and so I can turn that one off, and we could just see because I thought some things, some cool added additions for you guys, since I'm building this channel. Apparently I'm over 600 subscribers. Who the heck knew? Who the heck knew? I had no idea it would even get that much, seriously. Thank you guys. And so I want to give back to you a little bit and make things look even cooler. I am in the middle. I'm late. Usually I don't have the bedspread on, that brown and green one. That's usually fall and winter, and I have lighter ones. So as you see, I have changed that, but I have a lighter color, so I'm gonna have that finish. It's just the bedspread part. Everything else, see if they're gone on the pillows, you'll see better during the daytime. So that'll be lighter for the summer, for the rest of the summer. And the other thing is, what I'm going to put there where the glitter lamp used to be is going to be the lava lamp, and then the plasma ball with the color changing bottom. The color changing bottom is just a solid, like, color. Changes from blue to, to green to yellow to orange to red to purple. You know, it goes through the different colors. And I've always liked stuff like that because that or the fiber optic faded. And I just want it at a slower, mellow pace. I don't like those fast ones. It just, ooh. Yeah, my brain is already going that fast. I don't need more of that. But I do like the flowy of the fiber optic or the color changing, that it just flows from one to another. I like that. That's my thing. So I'm gonna put one of those there and a real lava lamp there. Still trying to figure out the colors of the liquid as opposed to the wax, you know. But the other thing I saw, and I'm gonna have it on hold because I've been ordering a lot of shit because I've got that money finally. Those weren't all that expensive. 13, 14, 15 bucks here, you know. But there is it's only about 6 inches or something. But I thought it would be really cool on the wall over there. It's like when I don't have that bright one on. It's a it's just it's gives the look of a fluorescent light thing, but it's like in the shape of a heart kind of thing. And it's made for the wall. It's just a small little thing. It's not glass or anything, but it's made to look like that. I just thought that would look really cool sometimes up there, but we'll see. Because the only thing you can get it in is either like a yellowy white or, and I don't, you know, or or like red because of a heart. So I don't know, but I'm looking on that site because there's not in the clearance stuff, and sometimes you follow along stuff in places you're like, I never even knew that site, and there it's, you know, clearance section, like, oh, woohoo, check that out. So I am in the middle of trying to make, like, I changed the chair last fall, and I got the better camera, way better camera than I had. Got the mic. Yeah, I'm just I've got earbuds, better earbuds than the ones I had coming, but I really didn't need them for a live stream because I wasn't able to hear you guys. So it, you know, it didn't matter. But I'm not a headphones type gal, even the really small ones, even the small ones. I just, I don't, no, I can't, I don't like it. And it's not, oh, it's messing my hair. It's a, it's a constriction. I don't know. Unless they're the big things that don't even, that are light and don't even feel like it, because the small ones are crap. And they don't stay once you know, fit them. And so I just soon do the earphones, you know, screw it. But, you know, you still have the wire. It's just down here. And I know a lot of people, if they're going to use the earphones, they'll just use a little mic. Why bother getting a mic? Because I don't want to sit here like this, holding the mic and talking. There, I mean, the earphones mics aren't that all that good. But anyway, also what's going to be coming Monday is the splicer. It's like the USB thing. So, I mean, you can get like have four, but if I'm going to have the ring light and the mic, it's a lot easier because right now I have to unplug and plug because I've only got so many USBs available. But if I've got one coming that's got 7 USB outlets, and then it just plugs into the USB. And I'm going to mount that wrap there so the mic and everything and what's up to the cords can all be bundled back there, and we're good to go. And I don't have cords running all over the place. And then I can plug and unplug so much easier. And then I'll leave that plugged in on that front there, because one of those USB plugs on the front of my computer is for my wireless keyboard and mouse. You have to put the little thing in there, so I've only got one left, and I have to use a USB to upload from the phone to the desktop so I can upload it to YouTube. And I just need more USB places, so I just figured get a You know, when it's like, it wasn't just like an $8 one, but I needed more than 4 ports. And there's a lot of 4-port ones, but I wanted more to make sure if I added something else, I didn't have to, like, I always had 1 or 2 ports available, so I don't have to, and I want to plug back in this camera, the old camera, because it has a little ring light. It's harsh. It's 3, low, medium, and high, but it helps because I can flip it up and down. And when I'm doing painting or anything on the desktop here, and it's not bright enough, I can just use that. So I don't want to throw the old camera away because it's kind of a cool light, because the camera can go up and down. So the ring, there's room on the other side of that to put that clamp, the ring. So. And that clamp on the ring light, that's the other thing. It can be also for, it's not just sitting on something. It's like a laptop or a desktop computer monitor. It's a clamp, but it's got a hole so you can use it not just on the monitor, but I can use it on my cell phone if I'm and it's small. And I can have that little tripod I told you about. I'll show it to you when I come Monday. I'll show you. I'll do a little improvement haul, little gadget haul, and I will it'll be a few weeks before I get this stun gun. But I will show that to you. And I've got some other things coming, different things. But Monday when all of that comes, I will show my little haul. And but it makes it nicer for you guys too, since I'm spending a lot of time here and with you. Give you something, change every now and then, but so let me know what you think. Have you seen those plasma ball things? This one isn't going to be a heart, I think. The one that has the changing color base, it's just a ball. I just was stuck on heart because that's what I had, but I don't want a big base like that other heart one had. And they're a lot more money. And I really don't want anything that big because I want it to fit in a specific spot. See, I bought that big thing because it was cool, because with the twins, when they were little, they each had a side, right. And it was a heart. I don't need all that, and if I like it, the other thing I really want to get is, that my nephew has one. It's those little tank type of things. They're not real tanks, but and it's like a column thing, and it does bubbles. It's usually about 20, 30, something like that. But it's like a column, and they have those like look like jellyfish, right? And 2 of them, and it's like kind of on the idea of a lava lamp, but it takes a while for all the air to get off. You have to put a little dish liquid in there and stuff, but it doesn't do any bubbles. But what it does is they're made out of silicone and stuff, very thin, so they look like jellyfish. You've probably seen it, and they just kind of float. The 2 jellyfish kind of just float and hang out there. And it's just really cool. And then there's lights on it. And though some of them will, there's all different models. From USB to, and this is what I like about it, because it's USB or whatever it is. Even if it's USB, you can get one of those USB plugs and just plug it into a regular cord thing. Because it plugs into like an extension cord, but it's a USB on the other end instead of for a plug. But I can use that as a side table lamp, and I've got in the living room, and the living room is my dolphin deer, my underwater, my dolphin deer collection, or not my deer collection, my dolphin collection. My deer collection's here, but my dolphin collection, and I've got whales, so it's all my dolphins. It's like an undersea blue-brown kind of thing. One of these days, I'll take the camera when I get everything straightened in the way I like it, because I'm in the middle of changing things up just a little bit. not furniture, but just decor, adding, whatever. So I will take you on a little tour soon. Um, and yes, the rest of the house that does, yeah, look like yeah, like this. Um, the kitchen and the living room. I mean, the kitchen and the little dining nook area. It's very dark, kind of like the kitchen isn't so much, but that dining area. So we'll just walk through it or whatever. But it's not all that much. When the brighter days get here, hopefully, maybe we'll be able to do it. But I've tried before. You have to have the right day. But I will show you at least the living room and such. I'm so excited about seeing my bathroom too, I'm sure. Like, seeing people's kitchens and bathrooms are just, it's like the first room you want to go see. Not. But yeah, there's just some changes. There's changes of brewing. Woo-hoo. Those things, yeah, people say, oh, you're just spending money or wasting money. But y'all don't understand. I love the ocean there. So that thing, it's not only a little side table lamp, because I told you, we don't have an overhead and light. And I've got between the two chairs and the table, I've got the two side recliners. I've got a floor lamp type thing. But by the couch on the side table, at night, it's, I'd like to have maybe that little tank thing there, because those give off quite a bit of light actually for a little area space. So I was kind of thinking of that. So I won't see it all the time, but eventually, if when I'm able to get it, I'll show you it. It's very cool. There's all different kinds. Some of the jellyfish are flatter on top. So if you're looking for it, look around in a lot of different places just to see, because they go from real expensive to real inexpensive. Some have Bluetooth. I don't need that stuff. Some have all kinds of settings. I don't need all that. I just need, something mellow and interesting and something that you can watch, like the lava lamps or the plasma things. They're just stuff you can, sometimes just, you want to do some thinking and you're just kind of staring at, watching the movement, be it a lava lamp or a plasma lamp or those jellyfish columns. There's just something about the color changing or the wavy motions that just is very, or the plasma with the lightning, it's just very connecting, for me anyway, where I can just go into that minute. It's like those if you saw that video on the what do you call them, singing bowls in the pool. It's that, on that kind of a feel. So sometimes that's helpful. So if I have the jellyfish thing in the living room, when I'm hanging out there, we can watch that. And when I'm in here, and when I'm doing videos, even when I'm not doing videos, but when I'm doing videos, I'll have the lava lamp and the plasma thing. So turn that off on some nights, turn that puppy off. Just leave the plasma lamp and the lava lamp going, the real lava lamp, so you guys could kind of watch it while I'm talking. I just thought it would add some sort of aesthetic, but I just got to pick the colors for the lava lamps, because they make them all different. And I'm not just talking the bases, the colors of that. I'm talking about like the liquid and the wax inside that make it, So anyway, that's a little synopsis of what I've been thinking about in the last couple days, ever now that everything's worked out and the Social Security's been transferred over without any more issues. That seemed to go well. It took more. It didn't show up. It showed up on the SSA.gov count. It was like at 12:15. It showed that it was already put in, but it didn't show up in the bank till like 3 o'clock or something. So I was just kind of like, I got to go to the bathroom. I checked it at 2. I'm like, program should have updated. What the fuck? But it was there when I got up at 6. It was in there. So I was like, whew. And then the day before, on the I had gotten the elections money. So that was a few hundred. I was like, whew. That's the only reason why I'm able to get these things. They're things, I figure that's money that I don't ever have. You know, let me use it on a few things, of course, that I've been needing to get. But those things are wants, you know. But they are a need in a way. The way I thought about it is after I had gotten that call about I can't continue with my present therapist because of going on Social Security and it's Medicare. And I say I wasn't ready for that. You might say, well, you should have thought of it. Well, no, because Medicare was changed to 60. It used to be when you went on Medicare, when you went on Social Security at 62, you went to Medicare. But then they extended it. They wanted to make the retirement age higher. But all they did was they raised the age to be eligible for Medicare. So I figured they'll probably keep me on Medicaid for, a few more years until I hit 65, and then they'll swap me over to that. But even my brother-in-law, when I told him that they're switched me to Medicare, he goes, "You're not 65." I said, I know. That's exactly. I thought the same thing. I was like, I was wondering to myself, did I misunderstand that? Because I thought I couldn't get Medicare until 65. He says, well, that's what I thought too. I had to wait till because he's like in his early 70s, like 74 or something like that, 73. I think he's 73. So he's like, yeah, I had to wait till I was 65. I was like, yeah, I know. Because it was right around the time he was turning it. And it was like, God damn it, He's still working, even now. But it's just the point of, instead of paying, for your insurance, you go to Medicare. And it was like, then he was like, oh, now I have to wait 3 more years. Because he was had changed just after that, he had. So, yeah, I didn't think about it, looking into it for the last month, because I hadn't realized I was going to be there. So, I did contact yesterday my primary care, and since it's a clinic, they usually take both. So on the portal the other day, earlier in the week, I was like, dude, I didn't know, and he said his response was, yeah, I thought so too, about the 65. That came up a few years ago with somebody, and I was like, wow, I didn't know that either. He goes, yeah. He said, so, I said, so I can still stay with you, right? He's like, yeah, you can still stay with me. So I'm like, well, at least I don't have to deal with that, changing my primary care, as far as I know. But he had to do the refilling. He had to he couldn't refill my pain medication and my vitamin D. We're still trying to get that sucker up. He couldn't do that. We couldn't just transfer it over. He had to start a whole new prescription, like a whole new patient, because you're starting with a whole new, from Medicaid to Medicare. Yeah, so it's like I'm starting with a whole new account again. Now with Social Security, the last one I'll probably have. Wow, the last time I'll have to change my medical shit like that. when those slaps you in the face, that, I mean, I'm not saying it's right around the corner, but I mean, I'm 62. I'm not gonna live forever. My mom made it to a month before her 80th birthday. She really wanted to hit 80. My dad made it till just a month, maybe a few weeks after his 75th birthday. He just wanted to. He wasn't even supposed to make the holidays, and he was born in March, and he wasn't even supposed to make the holidays that year. And I told him, I saw him just weeks before. My sister and brother paid together, because I couldn't afford it, to fly me out, and I only had the one child, so he just stayed with his. I went when he was the 4 days when he was at his dad's anyway, so he didn't affect him at all. He was young at the time too, and it comes maybe a week or two after I got back. I got home from work, still in my uniform. I was working as a corrections officer. All my duty belts and your whole fatigues and your radio things and all your crap, and I get home, and it was the day that he was at his dad's house, and I got home. I went in like it's 5, 6 in the morning, so you by 2, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock you're home. You get out for 2, and I listened to the voicemail. And it was his wife at the time's voice. And she never called me. It was always Dad would call me. I'd talk with her, but she wasn't the one that did the call. Unless Dad couldn't. And I was the only one that he hadn't. How am I telling this story? I was the only one that Dad had not, made peace with, it, that had not seen recently. He had just seen my brother and my sister within the last year. They had flown out to see him, and he had prostate cancer. But the thing is, when they found they had prostate cancer, and they do the tests, all the different tests, to make sure that you can handle that your body can handle the cancer, the chemotherapy and the radiation, everything. And when they were doing those tests, they found out that my dad needed a triple heart bypass. A triple. Before he could even, and recover from that. Before they can even start cancer treatment for the prostate cancer. And they managed to get it done in 4 months. They got the triple bypass surgery done, and he was recovered enough at that age to, he was 75, and within 4 months they were able to start the chemo, but start the cancer stuff. But those 4 months with prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is very difficult. It's like ovarian cancer. It moves fast, and it really spiders out. I mean, it's invasive. It's invasive, and it's harsh. I mean, all cancer is, but some are slow growing, they're a little sluggish, some are aggressive, and I mean, not only aggressive, but they spread fast. Prostate and ovarian cancer are like that. A lot of people don't even get a diagnosis until they're in 3rd, 4th stage, and you're kind of fucked with those two cancers if you're in 3rd or 4th stage. So by the time my dad got the triple bypass and was able to recover enough at 75, 74, those 4 months were precious months lost, where the cancer was just running. It was just running rampant. Sorry. I told you I don't have a therapist now. You're like, Judy, it's just been a day. Because usually it's Wednesday mornings. But, so when I got to see him, I was the only one that he hadn't seen in a while. And I think he was holding on, one, to make that fucking 75th birthday, to at least get there. And I think he was waiting. He was waiting for me. Other people said it too. His wife said it too, that he was waiting for me. I'm the youngest of his, because I've got a brother and a sister that are 2 and 3 years older than me, but my mom was his second wife, and he was married to the fifth one. But he had his first wife, had 3 daughters. So there's 6 kids. My brother was the only son. His first wife had 3 daughters, and then my mom had 2 daughters and a son. And I was the littlest one, the youngest. And it was just barely, not even 2 weeks after I got home, that I got from seeing him. And he was in hospice care at home, and he would be in and out of lucidity. He'd go into like delusional, kind of out of it, episodes where he's not, it's not that he's not recognizing me, he's just not really cognizant that he's somewhere else. He's still in his body. If you've ever had somebody like that, you know what I'm talking about. But then suddenly there he'd be, And so they had separate, twin beds, like the Mary Tyler Moore thing, that's because she was a, like me, sleeper, just all over the place, constantly moving. When you have somebody that's a mover, a restless sleeper, the other person in the bed is just, oh, fuck, unless they're also, and if they're 2 restless sleepers, it's like you finally get into the position, and then the other person's moving. So, there's a lot to be said to have where you can separate them or put them together depending on the night, the moment. And they do make those, actually, where you just click or unclick and it stays, because if you don't connect them, they will slide out if you snuggle in the middle at times. But anyway, we had moved, they had just 2 regular, but what I had done was moved them just like really close to each other, just moved the night, up. So when he was in those semi-lucid, he was going in and out of it, so he would constantly be like, where are you? And I was just like, sitting right there. He'd be like, Judy? I'm like, I'm right here, Dad, And so what I did was, sometimes there were real long moments. And I noticed one time I never told anybody this. I reached for his hand, because, they do that flail thing sometimes. And I just wanted, because he used to be 6'4", and I just wanted to feel my hand in my daddy's hand one more time. And he grabbed my hand. It was like he wasn't there. He was at one of those I'm not there moments, but he was, kind of. And so for the rest of the time, I was like, I got to, when I'm in the room sitting with him, I need to hold his hand, So it's like that bridging, that connection. Sorry. But, yeah. Um, and you know, when you're sitting in a chair, it's just kind of like leaning. So I moved the bed real close in those moments. And even his wife was like, she goes, I do that sometimes at night, or something like, when other people aren't there. But, I kind of laughed, and, I would just, like when you're kids and you're both in twin beds and you got the nightstand and you hold your hands together and you fall asleep like that. My sister and I would do that sometimes. Oh, look at that. You got to see my flabby arms. um, and since it was a lot closer, it was a lot easier than like sitting like this for 2 hours, and, it really worked. Sharon had come in because it was quiet, and she saw me just, looking up because he was off somewhere, and I'm holding my arm out, and he's just, he's gripping the hand, but not interacting with me. So I was just kind of looking up at the ceiling, laying in her bed, and just kind of laying there looking up, and she peeks in and she goes, "Everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." He slipped away right for a little bit. She goes, and she had her head against the door frame, and she said, "I do that with him too." I was like, "Do you really?" She goes, "Yeah, I do." So it was interesting. I found out after my dad died. So Sharon, one time in that same time period, she had said, she told me that your dad and I always refer to you as, when we talk about you. I'm like, oh God. She said we always refer to, not by your name, but by pink champagne. I said, "You're gonna have to explain that one to me, because I remind you of pink champagne." I'm not sure. And she said, "Well, we were talking one night, and we were talking about all the kids, my kids, his kids, and we were all, grown up and stuff, and hers were, And she said we were just talking about the different personalities of our kids and stuff, and what Debbie reminded me of this, and Jeff reminded me of this, and Karen reminds me of this, Lorraine, Francis, they remind me of this." And she said when they got to me, they said, "You're always so bubbly and cheery and, bright. You're bubbly like champagne." And then she said, "But I said that, but she said, he said, but not like regular champagne." I don't remember who said it, but one of them said, "You mean like pink champagne?" They were like, "Yeah, you're all bubbly and fun, but not like typical bubbly. You're different," And, even now, that's one of the nicest things anybody's ever said about me that I know of. I miss my dad. He was the first parent I lost. My mom I lost right before I came back here. And the funny thing is, when I was like 16, stuff working at Burger King, and been worked there since I was 15 or something. 16, 17, you worked till closing, 10, 10:30. It was right across the street from the Parks and Rec department. It's not, I think it's a cemetery now. But, you'd have to decompress. So, one of the guys was 18. He'd have, remember that pink champagne in 6-packs? Yeah. We used to fucking drink that. It wasn't beer. We would all go have a pink champagne in the park at like 10:30 at night, and then go home. It was just a little bottle of pink champagne. So when she told me that, as an adult, the fact that it was pink champagne that I actually used to drink after work. And they called me, and they didn't know that. It just felt like the circle was completed, So when that's why it affects me so much. So when she had said that, so you really don't know what people think of you. Really, you don't. Because what they say doesn't always what they fully believe. My dad wasn't taught how to communicate. He saw discommunication, non-communication as a child, and he didn't have a shot when that's all you learned. Back then, he was born in like 28 or something, 1928. Y'all didn't have fucking parenting classes and all this shit they got now. And parents still can't fucking parent. But yeah, so when they would fight and they would split up, and all the kids and all his brothers would go to different relatives. And several months later they'd get back together and just how are you supposed to learn how to communicate with your children, or be a child, or what it was like to be a normal child, and how, if you don't know what that's like, are you supposed to, and you're with somebody that had the same kind of, then you don't even know how to fucking be a parent, and you're a crappy parent, not because you're selfish, but because you don't know anything else. They didn't have anybody teaching you that shit. And that's how people get generational baggage. It's not by being at will to you. Not the emotional baggage, at least. So, I just want, like I said, I didn't intend this to be another tell-all. You'd think I'd be tired after that 2-hour live stream, but yeah, maybe that's why I told you some, let you guys know a little bit more about some of the things that make me tick or trigger, But yeah, pink champagne will always trigger me, and that's not necessarily a bad trigger. It's an emotional, knee-jerk, guttural reaction, But anyway, I hope you guys had a safe 4th of July. And for all you Canadians, I hope you enjoyed your, I don't give a fuck, we already celebrated our Independence Day, 4th. Um, I know your Independence Day is like a few days before ours. It's the first. Ours is the fourth. Okay, okay. I know. And I do appreciate you guys. I do. And hey, give me a subscribe and give me a like if you feel so inclined. I forget. I mean, some people I watch, it's like a minute into the video, they're like, don't forget to subscribe. But I understand why. Because if you leave it to the end and let your subscribers just hear what you have to say or get to the point of the discussion, you know, shut up with the likes and the this and the that. You know, how do I know if I like it or not until you start telling me something? So that's why I don't do it right in the beginning. But I understand why people do it right off the bat, because you forget. And then you're like, oh, this is a very long video. What the hell? So, yeah. But I do. I do appreciate you. And I appreciate every like and every subscription. So thank you very, very, very much. And, peace out, guys. Thank you for spending some time with me this afternoon in the live stream. And I was gonna do a little bit of live at tonight. I said I was gonna do that, but for a while there, when I was out and it was in the nice lighting, there was a lot of kids, as you heard in some of that videos. But as soon as the lights came on, it was a lot harsher. I didn't want to. That's all the kids, you know, the 2-3 families went in. So I'm like, because the kids had to take baths and stuff. So I didn't get to do that. But maybe tomorrow night. We'll see. Peace out, guys.